Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Inquisitor. And today I'm very excited indeed. We have as our guest the Chief Technology Officer of inq.Nigeria, our Chief Engineer, Mr. Stephen Okoye, who will be sharing insights into the runnings of inq.Nigeria, technology delivery, business transformation, and also at least be able to tell us a little bit about himself, his journey so far, and how we plan to, take technology delivery to the next level in Nigeria and beyond. Welcome. So, Stephen, welcome, sir.
Thank you.
How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Welcome to the Inquisitor. We're very excited to have you here. And,
Same here.
Though we have a close working relationship, but it would be nice of you to at least tell the audience, a little bit about yourself, just by way of introduction and your journey to this point in terms of inq, Chief Technology Officer.
Okay, thank you so much. And it's good to be here. I think it's a little. If you give me 2 hours, I'll tell you a very long story, but.
And it still won't be enough.
It will still be. It will still be enough. So I started my career as a network engineer. I did my youth service with Resourcefree Limited. Resourcefree at the time was one of the major system integrators in Nigeria. So I stayed with them for a couple of years. Moved on to a company called Simbanet. From Simbanet, I moved to Internet Solutions, IS Internet Solutions, the subsidiary of Dimension Data. So which now became Dimension Data after some years. So I spent my the last 9 years of my career with Dimension Data. Yeah, then I think it was July 2022. We began the discussion with inq. So around October 2022, I joined inq as Chief Technology Officer. So I've been with inq 2 years now, and it's been a great ride.
To God be the glory. So, let's just dive straight into it. Digital transformation is a buzzword that's been thrown all over the place. Everybody's talking digital transformation. But for yourself as the Chief Engineer and Chief Technology Officer, and for inq.Nigeria, what does it really mean in terms of digital transformation, and how does inq go about delivering digital transformation to your numerous enterprise clients?
So, like you said, it's a buzzword. I mean, if you ask 5 different industry leaders what it means, they will tell you, they'll give you 5 different definitions. So for us at inq, I think we've come a long way in our journey with most of our customers. With all our customers, given our history, all the way from the days of GS Telecoms, Gateway, Vodacom, and now, inq. I think for us, what we've done over the years is move in line with customers' expectations, customer solution expectations. And for us, what that meant was that I think a couple of years ago, a lot of companies started doing what I call modernization in the way they use technology. I remember back in the day, a lot of IT managers that we were speaking to back in the day when we were selling solutions, many of them, you have to educate them on how technology works and what they use it for. These days, before you get into a room with a CIO, the CIO already knows what he or she wants. So what you are there just to do is to guide them on the process. So for most businesses today, they are looking for better ways of using technology, better ways of optimizing their processes, better ways of digitizing some of the manual processes that they've been used to, and better ways of consuming technology. So for me, I think that's what digital transformation is all about. It's all about application modernization. It's all about automating your processes. It's all about making use of technology, in a more efficient way to deliver and optimize, the processes and the value that you deliver, as a business. So for us, what we do at Inc. is we speak to the customer. Of course, that's what we do. Understand where their journey is, where they are in their current journey, and we try as much as possible to bring in the expertise, the know-how, to guide them in that process. And that's what we've been doing. We've done that for a couple of years. We still do it today, both from a connectivity perspective to all the way to a digital transformation perspective. So that's what we do at Inc.
All right. This is very insightful even for me. What you're saying, in other words, is that the digital transformation as a value proposition is a matrix of different technologies and services.
Yes.
Your approach is to understand the customer requirements, and depending on one customer to the other, there will be several aspects of that matrix that applies to them at that point in time, and in terms of defining the roadmap as well. Awesome. So now this brings me to my next question. In terms of this matrix of goods and service, of technology services and solutions that make up digital transformation, which are the top one or two that you believe will be a game changer for industries or companies in Nigeria trying to embark on that digital transformation journey, in terms of the biggest bang for their buck, in terms of the highest impact for them? Which are the top one or two technologies that you think?
Okay, up the top of my mind, there are three major technologies, that is shaping the way companies interact and do businesses today. Connectivity plays a very strong role in that. And I mean, today we are seeing a lot of innovation, whether be it on the investment in the submarine cables that are coming into Nigeria, whether be it on the investments on the metro infrastructure, the metro infrastructure that companies are rolling out in Nigeria. There is also a major investment in the data center business, as we've seen in the past 2.5 years now, with the likes of Digital Realty, Equinix, and other investments that are going on in Nigeria. So those two technologies play a very key role when it comes to digital transformation. Now, one of the things that has also happened over the years is that today there is a lot of data that is sitting that needs to be analyzed, needs to be used. So you see cloud playing a very major role, in that as well, and you see AI playing a major role in that as well. So for me, from the way I look at it, these four technologies, connectivity, data center space, of course with cloud services, and then artificial intelligence. These are the 3 or 4 major technologies that will play a key role in shaping the way businesses, conduct their operations, and ultimately, conduct their businesses, now and in the future.
This is awesome stuff. Now, regarding these top technologies, Nigeria has positioned itself as a leader in terms of delivering business transformation, and even in terms of delivering these technologies that you mentioned. What is the tactics that we've used to make sure that we deliver this effectively, efficiently, and cost effectively and efficiently?
Okay, so I think Inc. traditionally has, come, like I said, come through the years. So one of the major advantages that Inc. has is that Inc. has always been a top, player within the industry. With that comes with, of course, a large customer, enterprise customer, base. One of the key things that we had done is the same customers that we have, we've been providing services to over the years, across every sector, whether it is banking, whether it is oil and gas, whether it is large enterprise. We are now talking to them, about some of the changes that are going on in the digital space, and aligning with them on how they can gradually ease into the next phase, of their operations. So that has been our major play, and because of that trust that the industry has, when you mention Inc., it's easier for us to, get in there, whether it is to upsell or whether it's to cross-sell, on new solutions, it's easier for us to, interact with these customers, because for some of them also, we've been part of their journey, and being part of their journey, it has made it easier for us to understand where their pain points are, where the next phase of their journey is going to look like, and how we as a technology player, can best add value, and, I wouldn't say handhold them, but, work with them, partner with them in that journey, towards, the success of their business.
If I hear you right, this is basically saying relationship management, establishing yourself as
Very
a
key.
trusted partner.
Very
trusted
key.
partner.
Very key. Trusted partner, trusted advice, technology advisor. Very, very key.
And that's the foundation of everything you do.
Yes.
Awesome insights. Now, can you, just for the benefit of the audience, a lot of these things are very technical, they're very high level. Can you break it down in terms of one or two projects? You don't have to mention any client names, but you can talk about the industry, and you can talk about the solution, and let us talk about one or two projects that you felt were very game changing for the client in terms of Ink's delivery of that technology.
Okay, so I think two major projects. One of them is, we just won it recently, but one key one that is a very big game changer is a document solution. We call it DocuAI. It's an artificial intelligence document management solution that we delivered to a very, very, very strategic client in the public sector, and that is a game changer. I joined Inc 2 years ago. At the time I was coming in, Inc had already partnered and is already delivering this solution. It was one of the things that spurred me, to join Inc. At the time. And it's been an amazing journey. I think it has this particular public sector organization. Yeah, they've been doing paper all through. In coming in and essentially digitizing their entire process from approvals to document management, everything. Is a transformation that I think is worth noting. And Inc is not just doing it in Nigeria. There are a couple of other opcos that we have within the group that are also doing amazing stuff in this area. So I think in the area of artificial intelligence, as it is applied to document solutions and document management, I think Inc has got some way in on it already, and I think we are making great strides in it.
Okay. Let me point back to an incident. Sometime around March or so, there was a subsea cable incident off the coast of Yemen that affected internet delivery in Nigeria. Somehow, Inc customers weren't affected, and somehow everybody was coming to Inc to get bandwidth on demand. How did Inc manage this? Or how did Inc manage this?
So just to add to what you are saying, we sold into Accra at that time, so I think I've been in the industry for quite some time. I think in the industry, I've seen networks, and I've seen networks. Inc has, if I remove the big four, the big MNOs now, Inc is one of the very few companies that have an extensive, well-protected fiber networks in Nigeria. And one of the things that we had done, we are part of Vodacom, when Wax came into Nigeria, so, and with that, we also did some swaps with some other submarine cable providers. So currently, because of the level of redundancy we have within the network, we operate almost 5 submarine cables. There's no need to mention names, but at the time of that incident, 2 or 3 of those submarine cables were out, so we were running on 2, and that was one of the major benefits that we had. So we have very strong partnership with some of these submarine cable providers. I just don't want to mention names, but the major reason why we were not affected, number one, was because of the extensive network that we have in Nigeria, protection that we have in Nigeria. More so, not just on the dry segment, but also on the wet segment. So we have extensive, protection around the wet segment. That was one of the major reasons why we are not affected during that period. Actually, like I said, we are selling, to other service providers at that time who were also affected by that outage.
Wow. So what you're saying in essence is somehow Inc. has this robust protected network where if one option fails, you move on to the next.
It's not somehow. It was by design. It was by design. Because of the caliber and the type of customers that we service within the industry. We pride ourselves to be one of the top enterprise service providers, within this market, and we service very top customers. Awesome. Your customers must be very, very happy that you're protecting them in this. I mean, they didn't even realize the outage, so they were hearing it in the news. Yes. But some of them reached out and say, so what's going on? Does this affect us? I said, you don't have to be worried. Is your network not up? They say it's up. I said, just enjoy it.
Wow. Amazing stuff. Yeah. So apart from being just a leading provider of technology services and protected connectivity, smart connectivity, artificial intelligence, what role does Inc. play in terms of its contribution to the entire technology ecosystem, not just in Nigeria, but around the entire continent of Africa, where you have presence in about 8 or 9 countries? So what role do we play in terms of fostering that technology ecosystem beyond just delivering services and technology to customers?
So I think from that perspective, Inc. is a pace setter, not just from a connectivity perspective. I mean, that's our bread and butter. I mean, we don't just deliver the services here in Nigeria, but we also do it across the continent. But Inc. is also a pace setter when it comes to artificial intelligence, when it comes to AI-driven solutions. Beyond the DocuAI, we also have Vision AI, and some of these technologies are driven by artificial intelligence. This is one of the things that Inc. prides itself as. Yes, we may not be at the top, globally, but we are, of course, one of the pace setters in Africa, within the continent. So we are passionate about technology. We want to be at the top of that innovation, at the top of that transformation, and we are making investments in partnerships, making investments in manpower, making investments in technology, in R&D, to ensure that we remain, at the top. I mean, today across the continent, we have about 3,000 technology staff. Globally, we have over almost 4,000. And I can say from the last count I did, about 20 to 30% of our staff are in applications and DevOps. So that gives us the ability to quickly innovate. So when we talk to a customer, they tell us what they are trying to achieve. Even if that solution does not exist, we build it. So that's one of the key differentiators that Inc. has within the ecosystem.
So you're operating at different levels of the value chain, both in terms of R&D, yes, and in terms of delivery.
Yes.
Amazing stuff. But in terms of partnerships now, we know you're not doing this on your own. We know you have several strategic partnerships, and one of the partnerships that's been widely heralded has been the partnership with Nitromsat in Nigeria. How has this partnership enhanced delivery of services, especially in remote areas? And how do you see this partnership evolving going forward, and similar partnerships as well?
So I think that particular partnership, let me just speak in general. There has been technology advancements, when it comes to low orbit satellite technologies, and the partnership with Nigecomsat didn't come. In fact, it just came at the right time, where we were kind of trying to make a decision on what to do with some of the infrastructure that we already had, in Nigeria, and what the way forward is, considering considering the advancements, in technology. We were one of the few companies that we are providing satellite capacity. In fact, the first call that MTN made in Nigeria was from our hub in Abuja. Yes, and that's the kind of heritage. So we've had that technology going all the way back to 10, 15 years ago. Recently, because of the newer technologies that are coming out and some of the advancements in these technologies, we started looking at other options. And Nigecomsat has been one of the biggest partners that we have partnered with, and with them we're delivering great value, especially to the underserved parts of Nigeria.
Wow.
So yes, it's been a great partnership with them.
That's very insightful stuff. But it looks like Inc. always seems to be really ahead of the curve, and but technology trend also means that things are moving a whole lot faster. Just before you try to be ahead of the curve, everybody catches up. You have to. So in terms of your future technology vision, let us extrapolate 10 years. We're already talking about how we were ahead of the curve with satellite technology, with artificial intelligence, with a robust architecture in terms of connectivity delivery with protected connections. What do you see is the trend for Nigeria, Africa, the world in the next 10 years? And how do you see Inc. positioning for this?
Well, that's a very tricky question. Very, very, very. Okay, so I may not be able to, say for the next 10 years, but I think there is something that Inc. Fundamentally does well. Inc. always stays ahead of, the curve. Always is looking for the new best thing. So I think in the next 5 to 10 years, the technology landscape will change. We'll be talking about a lot of data that needs to be standardized, a lot of data that needs to be structured. We'll be talking about quantum technology. We'll be talking about so many other things. So I think in the next 5-10 years, AI would have gained its place in the market. And I believe Inc. will still play a major role, given that they are already in the race. I don't see Inc. dropping out of that technology race, anytime soon. From the little insights, we've had, or I've had. So I don't see Inc. dropping out of that race. But I still see this business, remaining in the game, even in the next 10 years, regardless of where technology is moving. Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about nanotechnology. There's been a lot of talk about where the satellite technology is going to go, and rapid steps in that. AI is going to be a major component of everything from robotics to driving, electric cars, and all of that. But what would you say, advice you would give to technology companies out there who want to partner with Inc. in terms of being future ready, so to speak? What is the first step in terms of a call to action that you would advise for technology leaders in this enterprise space to come to partner with Inc. to be future ready? What is the call to action? What call to action would you advise?
So I think there are two. If you look at it, there will be two categories in that regard. There will be the category of the technology leaders that already know, given their industry, and of course, there are technology leaders within their industry. Given their industry, they already know what the future will be. What many of them may not know is how to get there. You know, it's like knowing that I have to be in Abuja first thing tomorrow morning, you know, but not knowing exactly how to get to Abuja. You know? So that's one bucket. But there are also others that have no clue what the future holds. So the second bucket, you know, those are the ones that we need what we call technology advisory. And in that instance, they can open up a conversation with him, you know. And one of the things that we do is that we look at where they are right now, and then we come up with a roadmap of where they could be or where they would be if certain steps are taken, you know, certain milestones and certain steps are taken along that journey. For the ones that already know where they are going, one of the things that we can do is to come in and then structure how they would get there. The delivery, very, very important. It's not good enough knowing where you are going. It pays to also know how to get to where you are going. You know, to navigate some of the pitfalls, you know, that of course technology. Sometimes you spend a lot of investment only to find out that the technology that you just invested in or the roadmap that you had was not going to get you to where you are going. It always pays to have a technology partner that has done it for years and have the expertise, the experience, you know, to navigate through certain pitfalls and then get you to where you're going.
Awesome stuff. It sounds like Inc. is ready to partner with companies to deliver enterprise architecture services,
yes,
roadmaps,
yes,
alignment with strategy.
Yes.
And if I hear you correctly, what you're saying is the first call to action is whatever category you belong to,
engage,
call us, engage.
So sometimes it is in the engagement that certain insights and aspects that were never previously considered starts coming to life. So one of the things that usually happens, so we have stepped approach. The moment you be engaged, one of the first things that we do is we set up a workshop, understand your business, understand what you do, and then understand the role that technology plays in your business. And we now see how we begin to optimize it. So one other thing that Inc. also does, we don't just look at the technology, you look at the processes, you also look at the people that are, you know, yes.
So this has been a very insightful conversation. Let me piggyback to where we started. You started by, you know, introducing yourself, giving us highlights of your journey to where you are today. In closing, for tech aspirants, for tech bros and tech sisters out there, what would be your advice in terms of taking up the technology professional journey and from zero to hero? Well, the CTOs of tomorrow, what advice would you have for them in terms of career-wise, how to embark on this journey? Students in school today, whether they're in primary, secondary, university, or those who have already commenced on the technology journey in one way or the other, because technology is so diverse, it's such a wide ecosystem. What top advice would you give to aspiring technology professionals today in terms of navigating their journey to becoming a Stephen Okoye, CTO of your stature in the future?
So I think in my experience is consistency. So one of the things that has happened for me in the past 10 years, you know, looking back 10 years, I mean, I've been around the industry more than that, but looking back 10 years is that technologies are now beginning to kind of converge, you know. So in that convergence, the guys that are starting today have this level of confusion where to start. In our days, it was networking, you know. So then it's either you are doing maybe Cisco was the most prevalent certification at the time, Either you are doing Cisco or you are doing system administration. And everybody knows system administration then is Microsoft certification, certified administrator, certified engineer, and all that. You know, so these days, the tech starter, the tech bro or tech CCs, there is a lot that is being thrown at them. You know, so the demand on them is much higher than it was in our days. In our days, the functions were kind of separated. You know, these days you are expected to be not just really jack of all trades, but you are expected to understand the entire ecosystem to a certain level. So my advice to them would be they will have to study wide. So they should pick an area of specialization, but study wide. So they will be able to see how the different parts of the technology fit. Actually, that's what makes the consultant, or that's what makes the CTO, or that's what makes the strategic technology, you know,
to see how everything fits together.
Yes, you should be able
that
to.
matrix we were speaking about at the beginning. You have to understand it.
Yes,
and focus on.
You need to be able to understand how cloud plays a role. You need to be able to understand how big data plays a role. You need to understand how the DevOps part of it plays a role. The part that connectivity plays. You know, because one of the things because we are still in this space. Yes. One of the things you find is that some of these new guys, they sometimes they have issues. So they have a solution that was deployed for them. They have issues with the solution. They are grappling to check whether it is from their end, whereas the issue is just basic connectivity. Which normally, for somebody like me, that's the first thing I would do, because we are taught that bottom-up approach. You know, so they need to be able to understand how to fix things that are outside their comfort zone. So with that, but my main advice is focus in one area, but understand how the entire ecosystem works.
This has been a very insightful discussion. I loved every minute of it. Thank you very much, Stephen, for making the time. And I'm sure everyone who's listened has learned a lot in terms of the technology value proposition, the ecosystem, the future of technology, as well as how to key in, whether you're a tech bro or tech sis, or whether you're an enterprise player in any industry. This has been very interesting, Stephen. Thank you very much for making the time. So this has been another exciting edition of The Inquisitor, and we look forward to our next guest, who will be sharing more insightful exposés on the technology space in Nigeria, in Africa, and in the world at large. Thank you very much for making the time. This is Peter Bota. Until next time.